Long ago, the world was very different from today. People had filled the earth, building cities and families. But over time, something went terribly wrong. Instead of choosing kindness and goodness, many people became selfish and cruel. Violence spread everywhere, and the world was filled with wrongdoing. But in the middle of all this darkness, there was one man who stood out. His name was Noah. Noah was different. He loved God and chose to do what was right, even when no one else did. He lived with his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives. Together, they tried to live good and honest lives. One day, God spoke to Noah. God told him something shocking. He was going to send a great flood to wash away the wickedness on the earth. But God also had a plan to save Noah and his family. God gave Noah a very specific instruction. Build a large ark, a huge boat. It will keep you, your family, and the animals safe. This was no small task. The ark would be massive, big enough to carry many animals and supplies. Noah had never seen a flood like this before. In fact, rain itself was unusual. But even though it didn't fully make sense, Noah chose to trust God. And so, he began to build. Day after day, Noah worked on the ark. He cut wood, shaped it, and carefully followed every instruction God had given him. It took a long time. As he worked, people around him likely laughed and wondered what he was doing. A giant boat on dry land? It must have seemed strange. But Noah didn't stop. He kept going because he trusted God. Finally, the ark was finished. Then came the next step. God told Noah to bring animals into the ark, 2 of every kind, male and female, and more of certain animals as instructed. Imagine the sight. Animals coming from every direction, large and small, wild and gentle, walking, flying, and crawling toward the ark. Noah, his family, and all the animals entered the ark. Then God shut the door. And then, the rain began. At first, it may have seemed like a normal storm, but the rain didn't stop. It poured and poured for 40 days and 40 nights. Water covered the land, rising higher and higher until even the tallest mountains were covered. Everything outside the ark was overwhelmed by the flood. But inside the ark, Noah and his family were safe. The ark floated on the water, carrying them through the storm. Imagine the sound of rain hitting the roof, the movement of the waves, and the responsibility of caring for all those animals day after day. Time passed weeks, then months. Eventually, the rain stopped. Slowly, the waters began to go down. One day, the ark came to rest on the mountains. Noah waited patiently. He sent out a bird to see if the land was dry. After some time, the bird returned with a fresh olive leaf, a sign that life was coming back. Finally, the day came when God told Noah it was safe to leave the ark. Noah and his family stepped out onto dry ground. The air was fresh. The land was clean. It felt like a new beginning. The animals went out too, spreading across the earth once again. Noah's first act was to thank God. And then God made a beautiful promise. He promised that he would never again destroy the whole earth with a flood. As a sign of this promise, God placed a rainbow in the sky. Every time a rainbow appeared, it would remind people of God's faithfulness. Noah's story is more than just a story about a flood. It's a story about trust. Noah chose to obey God, even when it was difficult, even when it didn't make sense, and even when others may have doubted him. Because of his obedience, he and his family were protected. And that leads us to the heart of the story. Sometimes, doing the right thing isn't easy. It may feel strange or even lonely, but trusting God and choosing what is right always leads to something good. Just like Noah, we can choose to listen, trust, and obey no matter what. And just like the rainbow reminds us, God always keeps his promises. Keep resting and trusting in his word. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and enable notifications so you never miss a message God has for you.